Hi-ho my peeps, and welcome to my product review on the kitchen scale that I'll be showing you today. They shipped it in this package, and put that back there. This is the box that it comes in. It is just a little digital scale, primarily used for, oh gosh, I'm going to use it for crafts and for cooking. So, when you open it up, it's nicely packaged. It's a little, it comes with a little instruction booklet. And you take off the plastic, take it out of its little shell. This can be used if you're going to weigh a few small things. You can use this as a container for that. Everything is all nicely wrapped in plastic too, like these little trays are all wrapped in plastic, so that's nice. Alright, so this is what it looks like. These things are, it's by the AMIR company. You'll see that down at the bottom in my instructions. Anyway, these things are really easy to use. You turn it on with its on switch. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be using a measuring cup, so I'll have to do what's called tare. So what you do is you turn it on, you put your measuring cup on top of here, your bowl or whatever, then you hit tare, which zeroes it out, then you start putting stuff in it. So I'm going to turn this off for just a second, and I'm going to lay this down so you guys can see. Now, I always want to use this on a level surface. Now, I've decided to go ahead and do a recipe for you using this. I have never measured out my recipe ingredients in grams before, so this is a first for me. So I'm going to grab the bowl that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use this pink melamine bowl. So I'll just put it on. I'll turn this on. And I will go ahead and put this on. I'll hit tare. And now we're zeroed out again. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first recipe ingredient, which happens to be 180 grams of butter. Now, I know from looking at the package that there's 113 grams of butter in this 4 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. This butter is, we're making shortbread, incidentally. So, alright, so I lost a little bit inside here. That says 106 grams. So now we're going to bring up this measurement to 150. So I'll throw some in here. We'll see how that looks. It's 137. A little bit more. That's 152. We'll back that off a little bit. 150. Okay, so here is my 150 grams of butter. That worked really well. Now what I need to do is I need to measure some sugar. So I'm going to put you on hold for just a second. I'm going to wipe out this bowl and we'll do the sugar. Okay, so my bowl's all clean. Now this recipe calls for 50 grams of powdered sugar. I've got my little scoopy thing here. So we'll see how much sugar this is. Oh, that's 24 grams right there. Now we're up to 47, maybe just a little bit more. And there we go. So now here's our 50 grams of sugar. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and mix together the my butter and my sugar. I've got to cream that together. Then I'll come back and we'll do the flour. Okay, so I've creamed together my butter and my sugar, and I've added the vanilla and the salt. And so that we've got a nice creamy sugar and butter situation going here. Now I'm going to add my flour, which is the last ingredient. I need 180 grams of flour. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've placed my my bowl back on. I've hit the tare, so we're back down to 0. And let's see where we're at. That's 39 grams. It's 103 grams. That's 183, so we'll take some of that out. 180 on the nose. Okay. So now I am going to, since I'm done with my wonderful little scale, I'm going to remove the bowl. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to come back and talk to you about this scale a little bit more. But before I do that, I'm going to put my shortbread in the oven. I'm using just a little Pyrex pan, and I'm going to be using the coconut spray that I got the other day. I got this at Dollar Tree the other day, so I'm going to give my pan a nice spray of coconut oil. Now I'm also going to put a sheet of parchment down there as well. I pre-cut a sheet of parchment just so that we kind of avoid burning and sticking if we can. I'm going to give that a little light coat of oil. There we go. So I am going to leave you now. I'm going to combine my ingredients. I'm going to put everything in the oven to bake, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about that scale some more. Okay, I'd actually forgotten that I have to chill that dough for an hour, so I turned off my oven, and I thought I would sit down and talk to you guys about the features of this little scale some more. First of all, it's very light, very compact size, easy to clean. This would be, you know, this is going to be something that would be very easy to use. I think with the depressed little screen down there, if you spilled something on that, you'd probably want to get it up quickly with maybe a Q-tip. I don't know if that's going to, like, let's say you spilled water or something on this. I don't know if that would, if it's watertight at that point or what, but I think that's probably just a feature of most scales. Your controls are going to be, you know, down where your scale is, so you know you'll want to become careful. I mean, it takes 2 AAA batteries that go in here. This unit came with its batteries, so that was kind of nice. I also wanted to show you these trays a little bit more. Now this bigger tray, I'll go ahead and put it on there. This would be good if you're measuring items that you would normally have to count. Like, let's say you needed 50 M&Ms or something. You'd go ahead and use the function that allows you to put your 50 M&Ms in here. You record the weight, and then and you do that with this PCS button here. And then you dump those out, and that way you can just dump and your items without having to count each and every one. It makes counting so much faster. So it does have both the weight and the pieces, number of units application. I think that's neat. Now, it comes with this little, it's just a fold over instruction page, very small with real small writing, so get out your reading glasses. But it tells you everything you need to know. tells you not to let it be in extreme heat or cold. You want to avoid moisture, so that must mean you want to be careful. One thing you might do with this is perhaps put a piece of clear tape across the front so that it will act as like a screen protector. I may go ahead and do that with this. I think that's probably a good idea. I'll try it and let you know if it works. Of course, you want to keep it clean and dry, and always use on a flat surface. You don't want to throw things into the bowl that's on the scale. You want to add them fairly gently. I probably plopped that first bit of butter in there a little bit too hard. So, although it is durable, you know, you want to be careful with anything that's got like a mechanism, like a spring-type mechanism. And it tells you that, like I showed you, first you hit the on button here, and then you can either just put something directly on here if you want to weigh it, or you put your bowl or your tray and you hit tare that zeroes it back out to 0. Then you start adding stuff, and it will show here in this little in that little display window. Let's see what else, if I missed anything. And then it also has the instructions for using you know, for counting. It's fairly simple. You hit the PCS and then you just go, and then you record by hitting PCS again, and then, you know, you just start weighing and dumping and weighing and dumping. If your batteries are getting low, it tells you with a low LO signal. Also, if you should put too much on the scale, more than its capacity, it tells you. It says OLD, which means overload, so you want to immediately take it off of there. So let's tell you the capacity. The capacity of this particular model, which is the KA6 model, is 3,000 grams. So, as you can see with cooking in there, you know, you're going to be doing a couple hundred grams, you know, generally, when you're doing a baking scenario. So, you know, even if I had tripled that recipe, it would have easily, the scale would have easily handled the load. So, all in all, I think this is a really, really nice product. I know that I will be getting a lot of use out of this, not just with cooking, but also with doing cosmetics, because I have all the ingredients to make some different kinds of cosmetics, eyeshadows and lipsticks and things, and generally you're going to be weighing that out in grams. So this will be nice to have. Yeah, so that pretty much covers the use of the scale. Look down below, you'll see the link. If there is a discount code, that will be there as well. Yeah, that should give you all the information you need. So, I think I'm going to finish waiting for my dough to cool, and then I'm going to make my beautiful shortbread cookies. I will come back and show you how I put those in the pan before we stick them in the oven. Okay, so I have cooled this for an hour in the refrigerator. So I've got my nice little lump of soft, beautiful dough. It is very soft. It feels so good. So now I'm going to pat it down into my pan, and you just kind of work it until it you know, meets the edges of the pan. And just press it down with your fingers to start, and it's going to be extremely flaky, obviously, with all that butter. So pressing it down takes a little bit of effort. I'm going to go ahead and put you on hold while I get it all pressed down, then I'll show you the next part. Okay, so it's all been smoothed down, or nicely pressed down. Now I'm going to take the back of a spoon and I'm going to smooth that dough and get rid of the push marks. Just make a nice flat surface. And it smooths nicely. It's almost like a really, really thick fondant icing consistency. Those kind of want to stick to the back of my spoon, but that's okay. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to pinch these edges. Just going to use, just like you're pinching pie crust, just a couple of fingers like that. And I'm just going to pinch those edges all the way around, like so. Okay. Now I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to pierce the top of this. Okay, so I'm going to take my little fork and I'm just going to pierce the top of the dough all along, like so. And I think what this does is it lets steam escape so that it doesn't get soggy. I think that's why you do this. I'm not sure. Now I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to score this, but I'm not going to cut all the way down to the bottom of the pan. I'm going to try to cut about halfway through the thickness of the dough. So let's see. Let's go with going to go with, I guess this is going to be 16 cookies when it's done. This first I'm scoring in the half, then I'm scoring each of the sides in half. That gives us 16 cookies. Alright, so there we go. That's what it looks like, and it's ready to go in the oven. I thought I would show you my dinner and the finished product on these little cookies. They really turned out beautifully. Just as flaky and light, not too sweet, but certainly sweet enough. To round off my little sort of savory tea that I'm eating, I've got some tea there that is an English breakfast tea with half and half. I have some green grapes and some homemade pickle slices, some Greek olives, and then some little points of toast with chicken on it. So there's my dinner. And again, one more time, if you're thinking about needing a little digital scale like this, please consider this one because it's very good, very compact, seems to be beautifully made. So there you go. Thanks everybody, and I will see y'all later.